Um, Sorry guys, I forgot I was going to record this. That's actually a great point, Ashley, is I know there's sometimes when you're like, oh, I want to claim this lead, but I'm not going to be available for a minute or two, right? Claim the lead,
Yeah,
and that's a great point of you have that concierge that's going to reach out to them. And just like Ashley said, it's absolutely a backup. Like if you can't reach out to that client right away, at least you know that concierge is going to reach out. Just make sure if that concierge gets a hold of them and they connect them with you, you're available at that point.
yeah. And
But
I
that,
know that we're supposed to be, available right away to if we're going to grab them. So
mhm.
I try to, if I know I'm going to be able to call them in a few minutes, or, I usually try to take them if I can, pretty much call them right away or pretty soon, like within 5 minutes or so.
That's a good point. I know I'm putting you on the spot here, Ashley, but and I know we just started this concierge, I think a few months ago, but have you converted any leads to closings that came from the concierge?
I don't think so yet. I
Okay,
actually don't think so because it's been pretty recent. And I
right.
think the one that I closed, it was before that. So yeah,
Okay.
no,
Okay. Yeah, I think we have too small of a sample size with the concierge right now.
I
Um,
agree.
so yeah, I think Ashley brings up great points of if you guys are available, obviously call them right away. If for some reason you can't call them that second, you do have that concierge as kind of a backup to be getting hold of them anyways. And again, if you can call them right then and there, do it, and the concierge is still going to reach out to them. So it again, you have multiple people trying to get a hold of them, which is, I mean, the better, right?
Yeah. And if I get a hold of them, and they say, whatever they say, like if I'm not interested, I'm already working with someone, or you have the wrong number, or whatever it may be. If it's not a good one, right away I turn off concierge because I don't want them getting bugged again by concierge if they've already told me, like, you know, you have the wrong number, I'm not interested, or I was just looking at a house on my street that I saw pop up on the market, but we're absolutely not looking. Um, then I'll turn off concierge because I don't want them to reach out like 5 minutes later, right after I just did. Um,
That's a good point.
and then if it's a bad lead, I write in my notes right away, they opted out, no longer interested, or unsubscribed from all emails. I try to write good notes, and then I'll put it in either trash, or I'll change the category to trash or archive, and then send it to marketing coordinator.
Okay. Yep, good point. Okay. Um, like we're talking about reaching out to them that quick. We're in this instant gratification society where everybody wants everything right then and there. Um, it's maybe gotten a little bit better actually since COVID because we've actually had to wait for things a little bit more. But it's funny because we still kind of are in that instant gratification society where we want answers right then and there. We want to know everything right away. And if we don't, we either forget about it or it frustrates us. So if you're the agent that can call them right away and provide those answers, it's just going to look better on you and it's going to increase your chances of getting them as a buyer or seller. I've gotten this question before too about don't be afraid to reach out late or early morning. So I've had leads come in before at like midnight, and don't ask why I'm up at midnight, but I was up at midnight and I reached out to them, right? I didn't call them, I text them because I thought that's probably a better way of doing it. But I've had people say, well, that's too late. You don't want to reach out to them and bug them at midnight. They inquired about a property, which means they're online at midnight inquiring about properties, looking at homes. The whole do not call list type of thing, or you're not supposed to call somebody after 8 p.m., that only counts for cold calls. If they inquired about something and asked for something, you're still okay to reach out to them after those times. Okay. But like I said, I like to text them and that way it's not calling them at that time at that hour, but I'll text them and say, hey, I saw that you were up looking at properties. What questions do you have about this property? Okay, so it can be just as easy as that.
I've actually done that as well when I was doing it and had, that was my best success. Huge best success. And I would just say, hey, I'm up working, just wanted to see if you had, I knew you were inquiring, I just wanted to see if you had. any questions.
Yep.
And you'd be surprised at how many conversations you'd strike up. And I'm talking like 10:30 at night. Shocking.
Yeah. We forget that everybody has different hours, right? You know, there's people that work nights that are doing this stuff, that are inquiring, and that's the only time they can look, because during the day they're sleeping or they have other things going on in their life. So we forget people work different hours. But yeah, that's a great point of, don't be afraid to reach out early morning or late night. Don't overthink if the lead will be a sale. Okay. I have had one agent, this was years ago, that a lead came through for 1.2 million. And they thought, well, no, there's no way somebody's inquiring about that would actually want to buy it. Like, don't overthink it. Like, no, they inquired about it because they want info about the property. So don't overthink if it's going to be a sale. Work the lead. And like Ashley said, you claim the lead, and if they're a looky-loo neighbor, right, you just mark it up as, okay, they're not a good lead, right? Or if they're just saying, no, I'm working with an agent, okay, you mark it up as it's not a good lead. In sales, they always taught you look for the no's, right? And you get excited about the yeses, because statistically you get 9 no's before you get 1 yes. So a way of overcoming objection of continuing to hear no is get excited about the no's. Because if you're like, okay, I've just got 7 no's in a row, there's a good chance you have a yes coming. Okay. It's all a numbers game. So don't overthink if it's going to be a sale. Claim it, work it. If it's a bad lead, you chalk it up as a bad lead and you move on. Continuing the response time. This is statistically what people have said why they pick their agent. Okay. 32% says most responsive. 17% says most aggressive. I think those two could kind of go a little bit hand in hand. Same with first to respond. That all can kind of go together, right? Negotiating ability, obviously that's not that high. Distressed property knowledge, previous relationship. Look at that. Previous relationships at 6%, right? Not only, there's 2 things with that. Not only should you guys make sure you're reaching out to your past clients, right? Because previous relationship, only 6% use the agent they've used in the past. It's important to stay in front of your clients. More than that, you have a pretty dang good shot of working with a client that bought and sold a few years ago, because chances are, statistically, they probably aren't going to use the agent they used before. Most knowledgeable, how crazy is that? That only 4% care if the agent's knowledgeable or not, right? So this goes out to the new agents too. They're not necessarily looking at how many homes you've sold, right? If you know what you're doing, I mean, obviously we have a mentor program. We're going to make sure you know what you're doing, but people aren't looking at that necessarily. They're looking at more of responsiveness, who's aggressive, first to respond, right? So that's huge. Make sure you call them right away. No contact made. 38% of leads that technically were never responded to, which means either leads didn't get claimed, or people claimed the lead and either forgot or decided not to reach out to them. That's kind of a glaring number, right? I know I asked Jacob the other day how many leads went unclaimed, I think in the month of September, and I think it was 36. So leads do go unclaimed, right? So if people are saying, well, I can never get a lead, well, there's 36 that didn't get claimed. So there was a lead available, right? And again, as soon as you claim that lead, reach out to them. If you have no intention of reaching out to the lead, just don't claim it, right? Let somebody else get it who's going to work it. 80% of leads turn into sales between the 5th and 12th contact. Probably the biggest downfall of most agents is they don't follow up. I've had clients that I've followed up for a year. I just closed on one in July. They bought a house for $920,000, I think it was. I had been following up with these people for 2 years. So biggest thing is follow up. With these leads, it's the same thing. If you don't get a hold of them in the first try, don't be afraid to continue to reach out to them. Okay? Call, text, email. Every time you claim a lead, call them right away. They don't answer, leave a voicemail. It's fine. Text them after that, email them. Believe it or not, I have gotten some closings from an email as well. Typically, it's people that are working and they're not able to talk on the phone or text at work. And so we literally will just chat through email until I can meet them at a property or call or text with them. Okay. And this goes into every time you make that attempt, right? So 12 attempts to make contact, call, text, email. Each one of those counts as an attempt. Okay. So when you claim the lead, let's say at 9 in the morning, for example, you call, you text, email. You don't get a hold of them. Bummer. Later that night at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, call, text, email again. The next day, 9 o'clock, call, text, email. Later that day, call, text, email. Do it about 12 times. If you can't get a hold of them by 12 times, it's probably a dead lead. Okay. But think about that. That's only 2 days where you're calling, you're texting, and emailing somebody, which takes, if you don't get a hold of them, takes like what, 3-4 minutes, right? So when you claim a lead, if you don't get a hold of them on the first try, continue to try to get a hold of them. The other thing with this too is if they have multiple agents reaching out, that person could have got frustrated or annoyed right off the bat and said, oh, just they shut their phone off, or they're like, I don't want to talk to anybody right now. You might be the agent that reaches out later, because chances are all those other agents probably aren't. So then if you're continuing to try to get a hold of them, you're going to have a better shot of making that contact over those other agents.
What do you, when you're doing that, are you giving them a benefit statement? I mean, I know people don't want to be sold. They want to be helped. How do you do that to get them to respond to you?
Good question. Like I said, attempt twice a day. I do have an example of leaving a message. Okay. Good segue, Kyle. It's like you set me up for that. Good work. So a few things about leaving a message. I'll go through my example in a second here, but don't give information until you speak with them. Agents have told me, they ask, how big the backyard is. And agents will leave a message, oh, you inquired about this property, the backyard is this big. Don't give them the information because they have no reason to call you back then, right? So withhold that information to try to get them to call you back. State the property address first, okay? A lot of times when you say, this is Kyle with Signature Realty Century 21, boom, they delete the voicemail. So state the property address first, so it rings right away that they're like, oh, I did inquire about that, okay? And chances are they're not gonna delete the voicemail right away. So my example that I use is, I don't know why I put John. Oh, the client's name is John. Hi, John. You inquired about 129th West Avenue. This is Kyle Gunther with Signature Realty Century 21. Please call me on my cell phone at this number to discuss this property, and I have similar properties. Again, my cell phone is this. I usually do end the voicemail now with, I'm going to send you a text message as well. Thanks. And then I will send a text message that's similar to this. Hey, you inquired about this property. Just wanted to answer any questions you have. Like Kyle said, you're not selling them, you're being helpful, right? You're answering the questions they have. You're not saying, hey, I want you as a client, or hey, are you working with an agent? Don't go that quick into it. Keep the focus on the property that they inquired about. And again, act like you're helping, okay? Which technically you are. Giving me
No, I think that's really good.
a live call. So if you get a hold of the person, right, that's jackpot. And let's say they start talking with you. Build a little bit of rapport. Obviously, you can go into the questions they have about the property, but I like to ask some open-ended questions with it. Like if they say, how big is the backyard? Oh, it's pretty good size. I think the whole lot size is, say, 10,000 feet. Do you need a big backyard? Do you have pets or children type thing? Ask questions that are going to get them to open up a little bit to tell you about their situation. Okay. Keep the focus on the client and the property. There's a lot of agents that will answer a question and then say, oh, are you working with an agent? And they start going into other stuff. best tactic is to call them, answer the questions they have about the property, and then go right in to say, do you want to see the property? Okay. Again, you're keeping that focus on the property. If they say, yes, I do, then ask them, are you working with an agent? Okay. But the first minute or two of that conversation should focus solely on the property. Now, if they're like, I don't really want the property, or no, I'm not really interested in it, that's fine. Take a focus on another property. So, oh, okay, you don't like the kitchen. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. Well, there's a few other homes in that neighborhood that if that's the neighborhood you're looking in, a lot of times they'll say, well, no, I'm not necessarily stuck on that neighborhood. I'm looking in other neighborhoods too. Oh, what other neighborhoods are you looking at too? And then start, we call it peeling the onion, right? Get to the core of what they're looking for. Answer any and all questions they have. If you don't know the answer, you can find out or show them the property. So two things with this is sometimes it's good when you don't know an answer, believe it or not, because it sets up a second phone call, right? So if they say, yeah, I'm really curious if that is laminate or hardwood. You know what? I'm not sure. I can't really tell by the pictures, and it's not in the description. Here's what I can do. Let me reach out to the listing agent real quick. I'll ask them, and I'll give you a call right back. How's that sound? You're calling them again, right? You're starting to build a little bit of a relationship with them. Or sometimes I'll say, you know what? I'm not sure, but probably the best way to find out is let's go take a look at the property. I can tell pretty quick if it's laminate or hardwood floor. Let's go take a look at the property. And a lot of times they will be open to that. Be available for the client and schedule the appointment as soon as possible. Okay. If you can't show them the property for a week, you probably shouldn't be taking the lead, right? Try to meet them on their schedule, especially in the beginning. If they say, yeah, I can see it tomorrow at 5. Great. I'll set it up. You're not working with an agent. I'll set it up and send you a text confirming that we're ready to go. Okay. Gauge the conversation. I can't stress this enough. Don't talk their ear off if they don't feel like talking. Okay. If they're just kind of like, no, I want to see the property, see you there at noon tomorrow, great, get off the phone with them. If you get the sense that they want to keep kind of talking about their search or about other things, stay on the phone with them. But do your best to gauge where the conversation is. Because one, you don't want to come off where if they just want to get off the phone and you keep talking, it's going to annoy them, okay? Or it's going to kind of turn them off. And same thing if they want to keep talking and you're like, no, I'm busy, I got other stuff to do, it's going to look like you're not available for them. Pending properties, we get this asked a lot. They're interested in a property that's already under contract. So what I like to do is still schedule the showing because the idea of this is you want to get them off the phone and into a face-to-face, right? Once you get them into face-to-face, chances are it's going to probably turn into an actual client, or you're going to be able to build that relationship better. So if the home is under contract, still try to show it. If the agent isn't allowing showings, then obviously what I do is set the appointment. Okay, first things first, set the appointment. Get off the phone with them, call the listing agent. If they're like, no, we're not doing any more showings, buyers or sellers are tired of showing the property, we're done, we're under contract. Okay, look at a few other properties that are in the neighborhood or similar properties to this home. You can reach out to them and you can say, hey, the property's under contract. Sorry about that, but there's a few other homes in this area that I can show you. Or there's a home down the street that's similar to this property. Are you interested in looking? We already have a time set for tomorrow at noon. Let's go take a look at it. If the agent is letting you show the property, go out there, show them the property, let them know at that time, hey, the property did go under contract. We always have the ability to put in a backup offer. But again, the idea is to get that face-to-face. Once you arrive at the property, let the buyer know that it is under contract. You can schedule similar properties around the home. So if it's under contract, if there's other homes in that neighborhood that are available that are kind of similar to what they're looking for, schedule showings for those other homes, show them the home that's under contract, right? And then tell them there's a few other homes in this neighborhood. If you have time, let's go take a look at them. Talk to the buyer about backup offers. Contracts do fall through, especially in the climate we're in right now, with rates fluctuating all over the place. We're seeing more and more of buyers backing out. 1% of buyers buy the first home they see. So keep that in mind, that the home that you're showing, chances are they're probably not going to buy that home. Okay, so keep it in mind that even if the property is under contract, right, chances are they probably weren't going to buy that home anyways.
Well, and that goes back to like, even, when you're doing an open house, they want to see one of the properties down the street that's under contract. I always try and show it to them.
Yeah.
And then don't tell them it's under contract until you meet them there, because you want that opportunity,
Yep.
unless you got a really shitty personality, but, you always want to see if it's under contract. I would not, my best success is saying, oh man, we just missed out.
Yeah.
Just went under contract.
Yep.
But I have other, and if you know that, I would have other properties back in backup position to show them.
Absolutely. Always have other properties available.
Yeah. The more time you can spend with them, the better chance they're going to work with you.
Exactly. Yep. Like we talked about, if you can't schedule the showing, offer other properties that are nearby. You can set them up on a VIP search through Boomtown. So if they're like, no, those other properties in the neighborhood don't really pique my interest. Okay, well, how about I set you up on a VIP search that'll send you all the properties that are currently available. We were going to go look at homes tomorrow at 5 o'clock anyways. How about I send you this list? You pick and choose a few other homes that you'd be interested in, and we'll go take a look at those. So again, it's about getting that first face-to-face with them. Schedule a time to see other properties. Talk about that. Keep tabs on the property they inquired about. If they see the home that's under contract, they absolutely love it, and they're like, no, we don't want to put a backup in. Watch the property to see if it comes back on the market. Because like I said, right now, a lot of properties are coming back on the market. So it's a good idea to keep tabs on it. So if it does come back on the market and you haven't talked to them in a few days, or they're ignoring you for any reason, you can call them back and say, hey, that property that you're interested came back on the market. Okay, so it's another way to follow up with them. All right, so that is the slideshow that I had. What I want to do now is kind of open this up to ideas that you guys have that you've been successful with converting these leads, or struggles that you've had with converting these leads. So any questions, ideas, thoughts? Ashley, give me some of your thoughts. You're crushing it on these leads.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Oh gosh. Yeah, so with, I guess, Boomtown, I went under I think it's like templates, and you can make your own emails. There's like some that are already in there, but I updated some of those a while back, and I feel like if I grab, again, going back to grabbing a lead, and, trying to give a call, and if they don't answer, leaving a message. And I also say, I'm going to go ahead and, send a quick text as well, just so you have my information. So I'll send a text, and then I also send an email that I set up one that's kind of a generic one that I can just send to anyone. So it's easy. I set up a few, but one of them, it's like, are you ready to start looking? And then I talk about, I don't even remember exactly what it says, but basically I'm here to help you. Whenever you're ready, if you have any questions, to buy or sell and I can set you up on a search, and we can update your criteria, and I don't even know, like all sorts of stuff. And then I also put, if you're needing to find out what your monthly payment will be, or what you get qualified for, I can refer you to a great lender. So it's all in this one quick email. So I also send that out as well. And what else? Oh, and then now, Kyle, you showed me how to set up the Century 21 emails and they automatically go out. I did that. I was able to,
Cool.
I think I have like, I don't know, 400 people or something in there, which is nice because now I don't have to worry about those. And I just, as they come in now, I can input them and add them. So then I can set up on like a drip campaign kind of thing. So then at least you're staying in touch with them here and there. I did have a client. I set her up on a search. It was I just grabbed a lead a while back. I don't even know. I'll have to look and see how long ago, but been sending her emails here and there for the search. I don't think I ever actually talked to her because like I just couldn't, a lot of them you just can't really get a hold of, but you never know. Cause then she finally emailed me and said, "Hey, I have my house listed. But it's about to expire October 31st. Can you maybe come take a look? I'm debating on renting it out or selling it." So I actually just met with her the other day and so I gave her, some of my, I gave her my whole presentation and everything. I met with her husband and her daughter, and it was great. It went really well, but she's like, it's gonna expire. We're not exactly sure what to do. And so I kind of gave her some, well, this description I would, it's very short and very vague, and then also like, I just gave her some of my tips basically. Well, then she emailed me back after, I said, "Thank you so much for letting me, take a look at your property and blah, blah, blah." She wrote me back and said, "Since we're about to expire, we went ahead and we're going to just give it a go with this, like this last week." So they lowered the price. They updated the description. So they kind of stole some of my ideas,
Yeah.
but I'm like, whatever, I helped them out. And, if it doesn't sell, I think I have this listing. So,
Cool.
I mean, I had never, it's just because I had her on this search, which was fantastic. So just sending these emails, little bits, it does really work because she's like, "Thank you for sending me those emails. I figured I'd give you a call." And so that was kind of cool, but
That's a great story.
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know.
So Ashley, is that the emails through Boomtown that you
That
have?
was the emails through Boomtown, just like setting them up on a search.
Okay.
But even though they actually had already bought a house, so the daughter and the mom bought this townhome a while back, and then her daughter got married, and they bought a house. So they didn't buy it through me, unfortunately, but she bought a house. But now they want to sell this place, and so I mean, at least I got a phone call out of it, and they thought of me. So I was like, that's kind of cool. So we'll see. I mean, they might get some more traction. It's been on the market for over 180 some days, and it's expiring just October 31st. So we'll see. That's why I sent that text, you guys, asking about how, when the like days on market resets, because if I told him, if this expires, we could be ready to rock and roll. Like we can get some updated photos. I can have it ready to go on November 1st. So I didn't know. I wanted it to reset those days, though. I don't want it to look like I put it on the market and it's been sitting there for so long.
Right.
So that was good info.
Cool. No, I like that. Setting them up on a search. Yeah, I agree. If they don't reach back out to you, you set them up on a search and then it's kind of automated sending them properties that you guys don't have to call or monitor that much. The Century 21 stuff on November 2nd, we're doing a training class on Engage. And that's kind of what Ashley was hitting as far as any leads you take. If you have their email, you can start sending them up on a campaign. Again, it's going to be automated where it's just going to send emails out to that person and it's going to stay in front of them for you without you guys having to do a whole lot.
Yeah, that's what I've been looking for a while. Like I just didn't I didn't really know where to go. And then it's like, some of the stuff's overwhelming, and then there's Constant Contact, which is like a company that you can use, but you have to pay for that. And so this is with our system, which is great.
Right. Cool. Any other questions or ideas, thoughts, things that have been working, things that you guys are kind of struggling with?
just one more little thing. This is, well, not really that, Kyle, but
Mhm.
just my last client that I got from Boomtown. We just closed last Friday. Her in particular, like I called her right away. And again, there's times where you just can't call right that second. And you can send a quick text if it's loud in your, if you're not in a good spot or a good location to call, but you could send a text or whatever. Well, this one I called right away and she goes, wow, I'm impressed. Like it's your lucky day because like I've been in business and you calling me right away like that and like being on top of it. Like she said that and I was like, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. So she moved from California, but I was like working with her for months and just staying in contact. I'm here for you. I know the location. I got you, girl, kind of attitude, like trust me. I've done this before with other people moving from California. And so it's like, um, she got here, I showed her houses and blah, blah, blah. We ended up closing. And she was so thankful and just ecstatic. But like just by calling her right away, she was super impressed. And like I got her, and if I wouldn't have, maybe someone else would have called her 2 minutes later and I wouldn't have, had that sale.
Right. I feel like the ones when I call them that quick and I get that compliment, or that remark
Mhm.
of, oh my gosh, that was fast. Those are the ones that I feel like almost always turn into closings.
Yeah. Well, when you can kind of tell too, like if they're really talking to you and they're really engaging and they're giving you information, then I feel like they're ready to go. So just stay on top of those ones.
Yep.
Um, I did chat with another guy. I think it was like maybe 2 weeks ago. Um, and we totally hit it off too. And I'm kind of bummed about this one. I'm not sure what's going on yet. I'm going to reach out to him again, but he has he has a home actually down the street from me in this gorgeous neighborhood around a lake. And we love this neighborhood. We personally have a search for this neighborhood ourselves. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I love your neighborhood. We totally like clicked because he knows I know that area and he's looking to upsize. And it's like he's looking 2.5 to $4.5 million. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm actually talking to this guy. So I'm like, this is great, and so he's talking about neighborhoods that I am familiar with. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we love that neighborhood and blah, blah, blah. And like, we're just hitting it off. And I'm like, well, I'd love to take a look at your property, he's like, I'm not quite ready yet, but so I didn't want to push it, but I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'm here. I'd love to help you out. I'll send you a text after we hang up, just so you have my direct information. So I did that and he didn't respond to the text. And I'm like, and we talked for a while. And so I'm like, okay, shit, And then a couple days later, I called him and left him. Oh, I noticed that on his search, his email turned red. You know how there's like that little box where you can tell if it's like a good
Oh,
one
yep.
or not. It
Yep.
turned red. And I'm like, what the hell? So I Googled him and it was the right email. He's like the president of some company and it's the right email. So I'm like, what is going on? It was like kicking it back or something. I don't know. It didn't say like he unsubscribed. So
Right.
I don't know what happened there, but I called and left him a message saying, hey, it was great chatting with you the other day. I'd love to help you out. I did set you up on that search I told you about. But unfortunately, it's kicking back your email for some reason. So if you wouldn't mind giving me a shout, when you have a sec, then I can update your email and I'd love to set up a listing appointment to take a look at your property, even if it's a little bit further out, just to kind of get a plan in place and whatever, and nothing, never called me back. So I'm gonna reach out again. It's been a few days, so I don't want to like overly bombard,
Right. Right.
but that was like a bummer. So we're gonna have those. It's a roller coaster.
Yep. And sometimes it's just meeting them on their timeline. And if this person, it's just not his timeline yet, just
Yeah.
stay in front of him. You know what I mean? Even if he doesn't respond to you this week when you reach out to him, like still send him a weekly text and it could just be an update. Hey, market's still looking, kind of strong, or hey, rates just dropped, which means more buyers are coming into the market. Even if it's just updates on the market, or if it's those campaigns on Century 21, stay in front of him because if his timeline is say in January or February and you're still staying in contact with him, chances
Hmm.
are he's probably going to start responding.
Yeah, good point. I know. I'll try to put his email that I have in. Actually, that probably did transfer over to the Century 21 campaigns, and I'll see if can you tell if it goes through or not or gets kicked back on Century 21's?
You can tell if they unsubscribe, and you can tell if they open the email.
Okay, I'll look because
Okay.
that will be interesting because I know it's the right email. I mean, I believe.
Right. In the red, I don't know if Boomtown, I can't remember if they have an option in there to pause. So he might not necessarily have blocked it or anything, but he might have paused it.
I'll look. Yeah, I'll go look again.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
get
and I
a
know for some reason, there are certain email domains like the iCloud or whatever it is, um, that those always get marked, for me anyway, they always get marked as invalid, even though they're not.
Oh, okay. That's something to look into as well.
Hmm.
Good call.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions, thoughts before we wrap up?
I don't think so.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
One of the things, Aaron and Eric, one of the things I recommend so we used to do this a lot and it actually helped build our business. I mean, that's where we kind of built it from. It was a system called ProQuest, very similar to what we're doing with Boomtown. And Shelly and I, we killed it on it. And how we did that is not every morning, every 2, 3 times a week, we'd have coffee and role play on those scripts. One of the things I can tell you is those scripts work. I mean, eventually you'll get good enough, like Ashley is, where it just comes natural. And that's the whole idea. So I would recommend that if you get a chance, find somebody to practice those scripts with. It will, like I said, it'll come natural. The biggest thing is do not sell them anything. They do not want to be sold, they want to be helped. You're their resource. They be their resource to help them. That's the whole goal.
It's a good point. Very good
Yeah.
point.
Just one more thing I would just recommend also on Boomtown is doing that template. Like go in there and just kind of write something up that it fits you too. Like they have preset emails, but you could just add a couple because sometimes you want to hit them with a couple different emails. Here's one, and then the next week you can see if they opened it or not. And if they did, next week send them another one. I don't think I have that one on an automatic thing because I'll just go in and I can select all, and it could be just a general generic. Hey, I hope I sent like an email about fall's approaching and time to declutter it was like a whole email. I actually stole it from someone else, but I copied and pasted it in there.
Can you
And
share it with us?
yeah, I mean, I sent it a couple weeks ago, so I don't know. I'll send it to you guys. But I'll get emails from other companies. And if it makes sense for everyone else, like it's just a short, sweet, declutter your house and time to, whatever, like clean your cabinets out and blah, 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 whatever. Just simple things that I can send to everyone because I can't pick and choose. That's it. That'll take me forever. So every once in a while, I'll just select all and send out an email. And then you can see if they're reading it. But then I have my basic ones like that I wrote up myself is, the beginning, if you're interested in purchasing a property, a great place to start is to get pre-approved from a lender. And I have some great recommendations and blah, 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 whatever. Or if I'd love to help you sell something where it's a good for buy or sell and just send it out. And I don't know. It's kind of cool because I can see if they read it or not. And it's just another hit on them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, but you can make your own up. It's in Boomtown on the left side. And I think it's under like marketing or templates or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. No, good suggestion. Yeah. If you don't mind, Ashley, you could email that to me and I can throw it out to the agents and show them what you've been doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna look.
Easy.
I'm gonna look right now and see if I can find it. Real quick. It's under. I'll send you guys that email I sent out, and I probably should send it to myself to make sure it's opening. Like I can open it correctly. But it's under the left side under marketing, and then you go to email templates, and then I made up my own. I'll send this one too. It says like, hello, just a friendly reminder that I'm here and I'm excited to start showing you homes when you're ready, whether it's soon or in the future, pre-owned homes or new builds, I can represent you. Many clients of mine will just text me properties that they have interest in so I can get a tour scheduled. Easy peasy. Just save my cell phone number and I put it in there. I work all over the Denver metro area. Want to know what your monthly payment would be and what you can qualify for? If you're not sure what you qualify for and are interested in getting pre-qualified or even getting a second opinion, I can refer you to a lender I work with. He can at least give you an idea of what you qualify for without even pulling your credit in about 15 minutes. You can also go over what your monthly payment would look like. No pressure whatsoever, but a great place to start. I look forward to house shopping. Something, just
Yeah, I like it.
something, it's like personal, like I'm not all, it's not like, I don't know, too professional. Like I want to be professional, but easy peasy, just a lot of my clients do that. I say, you know what, if you have, because a lot of people text, I'm figuring that out for sure. A lot of people text and I like that better too sometimes, but I'm just like, send me some properties. If you have any questions, I can look into them for you and I'll get back to you on, if you want to see something, just send it over and I'll let you know what what they have that's open, their openings. But anyways.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool.
I like it. I actually might do that myself. Okay, sounds good. I have an interview to do, so guys, thank you for coming. I did record this, so I'll send this out as well to everybody. So if you need to relook at it as well, and then maybe I'll do a class on how to set up that email template too, Ashley, because I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's super easy. If you just log into Boomtown, it's on the left side under marketing and email, and then it's super, super easy. But
And Ashley, you just send it to everyone on your list?
depending, it kind of depends. Like sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I'll look at Boomtown and I'll see who's been active the last, couple days. You can see who's been active, who's been looking at houses the last, say, 2-3 days. Well, I'll take those people and I'll go open them up and I'll go and I'll just quickly glance, what have they been looking at? Have I already sent this email? And then I'll just send it that, ready to start looking email. Like I have certain ones or let me see if I can find another one real quick. And then I'll just send them off and then you can tell if they've opened it or not. But anyways, yeah, I'll just, usually I'll try to send them to all of them or I'll pick and choose a few people each day.
Okay. Cool.
Sorry, I know you got to go.
Okay, yeah, sounds good, guys. I'll talk to you soon and I'll do like a 5-minute video on that actually.
All right, cool.
So, okay.
All right, thanks
again.
guys.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Bye.